Convicted of a crime, spent a couple of years in prison, and now he is suing the city of Orlando. This story just is gut-wrenching to watch.
Yeah, thank you, Julie, and I hope everybody in your family is okay after the storm.
Yes,
Did you
yes.
fare out okay?
Yeah, we did okay. No major damage at our house, a little bit of leak, so we are just, thankful that everything is as good as can be expected. How about you?
Yeah. Yeah, we fared out okay.
Good.
Our whole neighborhood is sort of joining together, making sure everybody's good. I'm fortunate to live in a
Yes.
community where we all have our backs and look out for each
Mm-hmm.
other, and I'm sure everybody else does too. So,
Yes.
we're hoping for the best for everybody here in Central
Mm-hmm.
Florida as we dry out a little bit and get
Absolutely.
everything back to normal.
Yes.
So, moving on to the story that I have airing this afternoon. I as a rule, part of my job is to go through lawsuits that are filed on a daily basis, just seeing what's going on, seeing if there's any trends. And this one lawsuit that I found in federal court just really caught my eye. It was filed on behalf of a man named George V Ramos, and he claimed that he was not only wrongly accused of a crime, but he was wrongly convicted and served 2.5 years in prison for a crime he did not commit. And in the end, the judge agreed with him and threw everything out. But was it too late? That's the question. I think we have our story from this morning that we're ready to show you for a glimpse of what he's going through right now. George Valle Ramos says that he was studying to be an x-ray technician at Anthem College in Orlando when his life was derailed.
I get a knock on the door. I'm thinking it's the maintenance people. And it turned out to be U.S. Marshals had a warrant for my arrest.
Investigators said his large afro-style hair from a 2-year-old picture matched the description of a man wanted for a nearby burglary. Witnesses picked Valle Ramos out of this photo lineup, and Orlando police arrested him. Were you scared?
I started to get scared when I started going to court, seeing that they were really trying to pin this on me.
So the jury came back with a guilty verdict.
That's right.
You said you were screaming inside before. What were you doing at that point?
I just broke down in tears at that point.
The judge sentenced him to 2.5 years in prison. 9 years after the crime and armed with a new attorney, Valle Ramos secured a new hearing here at the Orange County Courthouse. And it was during that hearing one of the key witnesses fessed up. She said she felt pressured by police to identify him in that photo lineup, and she wasn't sure it was actually him.
Deep down, I always knew she wasn't sure. I said it all the time. They know it wasn't me.
The judge agreed and threw out the case.
Hopefully my story can help somebody else. I consider myself blessed because I got a second chance.
In Orlando, Eric Sandoval, Getting Results, News 6. So I want you to imagine, you're on course for your life doing one thing. He was going to school, studying to be that x-ray technician. Then in one instant, just like that, his life is just tilted in this other direction that he has no control over. And then 9 years later, he's back on course, but talking to him off camera, he's still really having a hard time finding another job. And he hasn't been able to go back to school. The school he was going to be an x-ray technician went out of business in that 9 years. So it's not like he can just turn around and say, hey, I'm back. The school's no longer there. He has to start from the beginning. But he's really struggling finding somebody in an organization and a business that really wants to take a gamble on him because he still has this on his record. It's going to take time to even get it off his record because it's so brand new.
Yeah, it will come off his record though, right? I mean,
It
since the
will,
conviction
yeah.
was thrown out. I mean, and I just can't imagine the trauma of, like he said, he's sitting on his couch hanging out, thinking the maintenance people are coming to do a repair. And then the next thing you know, he ends up in prison for something that he knows he didn't do. It's just,
Yeah.
And this happens, he's not the only one this happens to, right? I mean, this
No.
is, unfortunately something that we continue to see.
Absolutely. And in our piece coming up at 6 o'clock tonight, we actually go county by county, showing how often this has happened since 1983, when these records were they first started storing these records. The numbers nationally, we're talking 3,500 people who've been exonerated since 1983. may not sound like a lot, but I want you to think of 3,500 people whose individual lives have been forever changed by being accused, convicted, and sentenced to prison for a crime they did not commit. Those are the 3,500 that have come forward and had their cases exonerated. How many other people have had the exact same thing happen to them? And, remarkably, the statistics show a majority of these cases with exonerations happen because of either police misconduct or a witness coming forward giving false information. It's really scary.
It is scary. And are there any consequences for witnesses who are like, oh, I wasn't sure, but I said this?
No, because I mean, they're really not perjuring themselves. They
Yeah.
they just honestly weren't sure.
Hmm.
There's no ramification for the witness individually. As for the police department, V Ramos has filed suit against the city of Orlando and a couple of the officers that were involved in that. But even then, there's a cap of $200,000 for any lawsuit filed against a government or a police organization here in the state of Florida. So, you know, you can sue, but you're not going to get that much money back that's going to make up for 2.5 years in prison and your life being totally changed.
Right. And the trauma that he experienced
And the
being in
trauma.
that
Yep.
environment, my gosh, I just can't imagine emotionally what that does to a person.
Yeah. And we go through that a little bit more in our piece at 6 o'clock.
All right, Eric Sandoval, thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing the rest of your piece at 6 o'clock tonight.
We'll see you then. Thanks, Julie.
Stick around. We are going to take a short break. When we get back, we'll talk more about the timing of that cold front that is heading our way, which will bring us a really nice middle and end to our week. We'll also check in with News 6's Molly Reid in Volusia County talking about food distribution to people who are continuing to recover from Hurricane Milton. Stay with us. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Hello, it's Julie.
Hello.
Hi. Oh my goodness, we've got something crazy going on. Does it sound better now? No. I think he's texting you.
Ask her if she can step into her car.
Can you step into your car where it's not as windy? Let's see. He's trying again. Here, talk to us again.
Hi. Can you hear
Hi.
me?
Yes. Does that sound better? Much better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. I
know
wasn't
it-
sure if we wanted a nice backdrop or the car.
Yeah. I guess if it comes to between hearing and not hearing, we gotta take the car.
True.
Excuse me.
Okay, we're about 2 hours. Right
We are what?
2 hours.
2 minutes still?
Yeah.
Okay. We're about 2 minutes out.
Thirty seconds.
Welcome back to Take 6. The time now is just about 12:41. I'm Julie Broughton, and so many people in Central Florida are really going to be dealing with a long road to recovery after Hurricane Milton was impacting us last week. So many people dealing with flooding, with lack of power, with so much damage from that. And so this is when we start to see groups coming together to help their friends and neighbors. News 6's Molly Reid joins us now from Volusia County. And Molly, you were talking to a foodie group, who originally started to share their love of food and support local restaurants, and now they are coming together to help their friends and neighbors who are in need of some support after this storm.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know after these storms, we usually see the nonprofits here stepping up, churches, things like that. But this one always blows me away because, as you just said, it started with a Facebook group of people who just love food. They love restaurants. They love reviewing restaurants and things like that. And really, this group started around COVID, around that time when the pandemic was in full swing and everything like that. So that was really to support the restaurants. Then we saw after Hurricane Ian, them stepping up to help everyone in the community. And now we're seeing it here again after Milton. So today I saw them going to a nursing home to help people bring food to them that was donated by restaurants. And these are hundreds of volunteers who have never met each other. They don't know each other at all. They're not part of an organization. They want to step up and bring food a little bit more than them. I know a lot of them also have their own damage. They go back to their homes, but they said, we might need it a little bit more than us. So yeah, it was really interesting to see and just inspiring to see them this morning, all there to bring food, and a lot of people are getting involved. Pretty grassroots effort. Pretty cool when you see them all together.
Yes, and we're having a little bit of trouble with your audio, but before we let you go, you'll be bringing us a story on News 6 today. What time can we see what you are out there checking out?
I have not been able to see yet. It'll be between 4 and 7, but I haven't had time to look just what time it's going to hit just yet.
Okay, fabulous. That means people need to just sit in front of their TV for the entire 3 hours is what I'm hearing there.
Yeah.
All right, Molly, thank you so much. We'll let you get back to working on your story. No, it's a busy day for you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go and get a check of your forecast. We apologize for that audio issue. Of course, we will have her full story coming up later this afternoon on News 6. You can always see it on clickorlando.com as well. Now, we are looking forward to some beautiful weather this week, which will be helpful for people still out cleaning up their yards. If you don't have air conditioning, we're looking at much nicer weather rolling in. We have changes on the way. So today and tomorrow, we're looking at highs reaching in the mid to even upper 80s. So that front moves through late Tuesday into Wednesday. And so by Wednesday afternoon, we are looking at a high only of around 76 degrees. Here's how it looks for you right now. If you're in New Smyrna Beach, you're checking at 79. It is 80 in Leesburg, 79 in Ocala, 81 in the Villages, and 83 in Melbourne. Here is our radar scanning out, not picking up any rainforest, which is good news because we're still talking about river flooding. We have a lot of spots still in major flood stage. If you look at this map, anywhere where you see those purple icons along the St. Johns River, so up toward Pearson, up toward DeLand, that is where we are looking at major flood stage, and it will be several days before some of these river levels begin to come back down. So at least we will not be adding any more rain into the mix. Here's your clouds and rain forecast rolling through the afternoon hours. You can see the clock there at the top moving. It's hard to tell otherwise because normally we see a lot of cloud cover, a lot of rain moving in. We are going to keep it clear and dry through the rest of the day. Now, we do want to take you out to the tropics. We are watching Invest 94L, the National Hurricane Center giving that a 50% chance of further development over the next several days. This is one we need to watch very closely. We think it could take on some additional tropical characteristics as it approaches the Caribbean, moving through the Lesser Antilles. Again, this is not anything we need to panic about right now, but it is something we will be monitoring. As of this moment, there's no indication that this will be a factor for us, but again, we are watching it. Here's how it looks for you for the next 7 days. That front arrives on Wednesday with a high of 76. We leave it at 77 for Thursday, and then this weekend we keep our highs in the low 80s. And where we're looking at temperatures in Orlando in the low 60s, that means our northwestern counties like the Villages and Ocala, you will be in the 50s. So we are talking about a nice break from the heat. We'll, of course, have much more on all of this for you starting on News 6 at 4. If you have any questions or comments for us at Take 6, head to clickorlando.com/Take 6 and let us know what's on your mind. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I'll see you at 4.
Yeah.